Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy freaking, I don't know, is it Generational Wealth Wednesday? Is it Talk That Talk Thursday? I think it's Talk That Talk Thursday. Yeah, it's Talk That Talk Thursday. What's going on, fam? Appreciate you guys checking in on an early Thursday afternoon. Look, it's time. A realistic talk about Ripple as I see it. As I see it. Jungle Inc. did a video. I don't know if it was early this morning, I guess early this morning, late last night. I'm not sure which one, but responding to Mickey B. Fresh, a little back and forth on X, a little healthy debate. It's pretty cool. Look, so we're gonna go over both of those. Those are my guys right there. Jungle Link, Mickey B. Fresh, both of them my guys. I'm gonna give my take on it. One I 100% agree with, and the other one I 100% disagree with. Just disagree with completely. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna go over the numbers, because the market is doing what the market does, fam. We'll go over the numbers if you can stomach it. I'm going to share a little dollar cost average strategy with you guys. And way back, we're going to go way back and explain to you why the alleged adult in the room is upset. He picked the wrong horse. The crazy part is both horses were available. Both horses were available. He chose only one. And now I was a little butthurt that he chose at present time the wrong one. At present time, it's the wrong one. Who knows what'll happen in the future? But year to date, it was the wrong choice. We're going to get into some stuff on Crypto X for sure. We're going to go over that post. I tell you, that was an interesting post from Crypto Eddie with that video clip from the interview with Matthew Siegel from VanEck with Tony from Thinking Crypto. It's very, very interesting. Stephanie, Eleanor Tarrant shares some a little bit of insights with this little meeting that took place with the current administration and some lady named Anita Dunn with some people from the crypto space. And, we'll go over that. I mean, the crypto space people got to vent a little. The representative for the current administration, Solana SEC, was a little alarmed by what she heard. What? Why? Why would you be alarmed? Everybody knows that the current administration in the US is vehemently on an anti-crypto movement. I mean, that's clear as day. What the world? David Altcoin says XRP to Valhalla. I hear you, my friend. It's going to have its chance to run this cycle. That's for sure. It's going to have its chance to run, and the market is going to decide. Right? The market is going to decide. And here's what I'll tell you. The number one factor is not going to be on the technology. Prices determine the market because it's still speculation. So the market is going to decide if XRP is a good buy or not. And I would suspect and humbly submit that they'll do very much the same thing that you and I did. They'll look at the top 10 or 20 assets and decide which one will give them, in their mind, in their view, the better bang for the buck. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So we got added access, right? Because now these retail people, when they do come, will be able to purchase this asset other than Uphold, right? So got added access, and they're going to do what they typically do. Look at the top 10 or so and figure out which one gives them the bigger bang for the buck. Some might get down to the top 20. Some might get down to the top 30, but the average retail person is not going much further than that. The average retail person coming out of the fiat world and coming into the crypto space, you think they're going to go all the way down to the top 100? Not likely. Certainly not with their initial purchase. Maybe months later, their second or third or fourth purchase, maybe they get down to the top 50 or 100 or so. So XRP is going to have its run, and the market is going to decide. The market's going to decide. And it won't be about the technology. They're not going to discover the technology until months later. We weren't trained to deep dive and research and look through stuff. We weren't trained to do that. We weren't educated to do that. So they're going to look at the price and the best bang for the buck. That, in my opinion, fares well for XRP, in my opinion. But I don't know. XRP Kelly was trying to get me to give a price. I'm like, I can't really give a price. I don't know. The market's going to decide. And once the market decides, and if they decide on XRP and the market drives it to a price where you can expect future returns, average year-on-year returns for it, then we can look to the dollar cost average of that asset XRP and see how it fares. Yeah. So we'll do that, and we'll go over some numbers and stuff. You know what I mean? I'll go over some stuff. And so we got to look at, how's the asset performing? The market determines that. Isn't the lawsuit part of the market? Lawsuit's part of the market. That cloud on title is part of the market. It's in the market. And retail and others decided, not with this case hanging over its head. It's not an asset I want to get. That's what happened. That's what happened. Now the lawsuit's here. We got XRP in and of itself. It's not a security. Maybe some others now participate in the cycle with more availability to purchase and more ability to sell. Got to get that as well, right? If you don't feel like there's a lot of places I can off ramp, I'm not on ramping, right? I'm not getting into this thing. There's no liquidity to exit out of it. So all of these things factor well for XRP. All of these things factor well. So we'll see how it goes. The market's going to determine it. Market's going to determine it. And I will personally, in the Crypto Sieges home, I will look to reestablish my dollar cost average strategy after the cycle and after the market determines what's good and what's not good. Because I've been in the space for a while, 2016 or so. I understand what the space I'm in. I understand that it's about a network. It's about network adoption and going in and rising above in the adoption curve. Retail don't know that. New people coming in don't know that. But they're going to discover it, but they don't realize that now. It's going to take them a minute to realize the real, right? That's what it is. A lot of people miss this, and I'm going to get into this Crypto X thing here with Jungle Link and Make It Be Fresh here in a minute. But a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand. Look, getting retail to get in crypto without them knowing they're getting into crypto is the move. It's kind of really the move. This is why Solana is doing what people think Solana is doing what it's doing to become a meme coin. Solana is doing what it's doing because Devour Go is in grabbing market share from DoorDash. Helium Mobile is grabbing market share. No matter if it's significant or insignificant, it's grabbing market share from T-Mobile. Right? You get that? And Hive Mapper is grabbing market share from Google Maps. These are retail-facing products that happens to be built on the Solana blockchain. All three of those things have an associated crypto with it. And one day, somebody's going to look at their Honey token or a DPay token or their Helium Mobile token and say, what is that? What? Huh? Okay, cool. Okay, great. All right. Wait a minute. It's worth something? That's going to happen. That's going to happen. And they'll trickle into crypto. Which crypto you think they're going to buy first? After Honey or Hive Mapper. I think it's Honey for Hive Mapper, I think, or DPay. What do you think they're going to get after DPay? Probably going to be Solana. I mean, probably. Don't you think? After the little DPay thing, don't you think probably going to be Solana? No, but probably. Oh! I need this. So I need Solana to get on to do this thing here. I need some SOL. Okay, probably my thing. So listen, gonna go over these numbers. I'm not sure why this whole thing with Ripple is just kind of, I don't know, it seems like it's just kind of really missed, or just it's really I don't misunderstood. I think I don't get it. There's some realities about Ripple for sure, and there's realities that we know and realities about Ripple that we don't know. How is it that we don't know it? Because Ripple is a private company. It's a private company. There's things about Ripple's sales that we don't know. There's things about Ripple's products that they're selling that we don't know. There's revenue at Ripple that we don't know about because they don't have to report it. That's the rules. It's a private company. They don't have to report it. You understand? XRP Nick's in the building. What's good, my friend? Hey, Donald. Been holding XRP for 8 years. Well, how about that? Let me ask you another question, Donald. 8 years is a long time. That's almost as long. That's almost as long as me. It's just about the same amount of time. I got XRP. I got XRP in 2017, so longer than me. Did you dollar cost average every single month for 8 years, Donald? Every single month for 8 years. Did you dollar cost average in every single month for 8 years? What's going on, Inkpen27? How are you, my friend? XRP Nick says, I would like to see XRP hit 5 to 10 and stabilize with stable growth year to year. The volatility in the market is rough. Indeed. Indeed, it is. Got to get the cloud on title over, done, and over with. Got to get it out. Got to get it over with. But the more the cloud on title dissipates, the better it is for the XRP holder. That is without question. But we got to get there. We don't know what's going to happen with appeals. We don't know if this thing's going to Supreme Court. Like, we don't know. But the market is going to tell us how they feel about the current situation of the asset XRP. The market is going to tell. They have no excuses. They have access to exchanges. The asset XRP in and of itself is not a security. I'm not sure if retail even cares. But the bottom line is retail can get the asset in a speculative market. This is a speculation market still. Retail is not going to know about tokenization on the XRPL. They're not going to know about a Ripple stablecoin. They're not going to know what it is and understand that yet. Not yet. Initially, it's going to be the price and how much I can get for it, the bang for my buck. Right? So Donald, were you dollar cost averaging in for 8 years? I wasn't. I didn't start my dollar cost average strategy for XRP until like 2020, till 2020. I'm buying other stuff. I'm buying this stuff. I'm doing this, whatever. Every now and then I get some XRP, but not a strategy, a plan where you could leverage the year-over-year return of the asset. What's going on, Bald Silverback? How are you, my friend? Inkpen27 says, I've been holding XRP since 2020. And that's really the key. The key is really the dollar cost average strategy that most retail people did. Most of us didn't understand it and how powerful it was. We became enamored with Wind Moon and forgot to just keep accumulating and building up with the strategy, not randomly, with the strategy. David, I hear you. Says just have to hang with the XLMs and XCCs, the HBARs and the algos and others. State-of-the-art technology will win. We'll see. We'll see if that's the case. The market's going to decide. Market has to decide, because right now, if you're interested in the best return for your buck, state-of-the-art technology is not winning. Year to date, state-of-the-art technology is not winning. Right, current time. From the inception of the digital asset space till now, state-of-the-art technology is not winning. Pookie, what's going on, my friend? Hydro's in the building. We were all learning in 2017. Indeed. Indeed. And everybody was learning. Again, we weren't educated on this stuff, on how to invest, how to deep dive research. Right? We learned algebra and geometry. Right? We learned history and all the lies. We learned the mistruths about history, not the real history. Right? We didn't learn about investing because those two dudes went to the educational system and said, please don't teach these people how to be entrepreneurs. Teach them how to be laborers. Which people? Same people that met at Bretton Woods, those dudes. They flat out said we need more workers, and then entrepreneurs and CEOs. We need workers. Let's send them down that lane of learning how to be a worker. Right? So there it is, fam. Look, I'm going to go over the numbers a little bit. And go over some crypto X stuff as well. Then I gotta hop off here because I gotta reshuffle the portfolio. D Benders one, what's going on, my friend? What would you consider the state-of-the-art blockchain? Well, I think that it depends on the sector. Right? There's going to be state-of-the-art blockchain that's for AI. There's going to be state-of-the-art blockchain that's for payments. Right? So it depends on where you are and what you're looking to do, right? Depends on the narrative. I think that's the key. And one of the more important things, like Ethereum is what it is, and it's getting better. It is what it is, and it's getting better. So is Solana. So is the XRPL. It is what it is, but it depends on the space that it's going in, because one blockchain is not going to do all things. One blockchain is just not going to do all the things. Bitcoin ain't going to do the things that Ethereum is doing. They got people building other stuff on there on the layer 2 and side chains, right? And so it's really going to be about that type of stuff. So what would you consider the state-of-the-art blockchains? I think there's different ones that are doing well, but the market has to want them. A Hedera Hashgraph is some next level stuff. Does the market want it? Is the market saying it? Right? Once we get to a place where the market says, state-of-the-art blockchain is what we want, right? Then then you pay attention. But right now, that's not what the market's not saying that. The market is saying it's speculation, right? And it's network adoption. That's what the market is saying. The market is saying this includes builders, this includes entrepreneurs, and this includes retail. What's the chain with the most daily active users that has a product or products that the retail person, can use? That's essentially what the market is saying. And the other part that the market is saying is, where can I go to get some yield on this thing that I'm holding? Right? Especially the big whales. The big whales want to be able to get some interest on what they're holding and also secure the thing that they're holding as well. That's why Ethereum is doing well. Ethereum is doing well because they got a lot of big major holders, whales, who are participating in their staking, whether it be Lido or Rocket Fuel, Rocket Pool, I think it's called. So, in any case, let me go to this market real quick and let's get into this. Get into some stuff. Because it's important to understand where you are. I keep trying to tell the XRP entertaining content creators, you can't start with where you want to be. You have to start with where you are. You got to start with where you are. Right? And if you haven't created network adoption with daily active users, that's where you are. Right? That's where you are. Builders and creators are not going to places where there's nobody on the chain doing some stuff on the chain. I mean, isn't it really that simple? You gotta have to change that. You have to change that around so that builders will come. Builders don't want to go out and build something and there's no active users. No matter how great the product they have is, you got some people, you need people participating. So you as a builder, or you as a chain, or you as a governance, or you as a DAO, how do we create? How do we draw in? How do we catch the attention of retail? Figure that out. Get people on the chain. Why do you think Flare Network has the momentum that it has going on right now? Question. Is it because of the next level blockchain that it's becoming, or is it because of the Flare drops? You could say it's a combination. Where do you think it started? Where do you think it started? It started with the Flare drops. That's attention. That's garnering attention. That's what it is. That's why they work so well. All right, let's go with this market real quick, family. Jungle Inc. kind of went in a little bit on my guy, Mickey Be Fresh. Jungle Inc. is my guy as well. So it was interesting to see that video. And we'll get into that for sure. I'll give my take on it. All right, so according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is up 0.5% at 2.25 trillion in the last 24 hours, up 0.5%. Bitcoin is, according to CoinGecko, the dominance is 50%. If you listen to the guy for Into the Cryptoverse, Benjamin Cohen, he says the dominance is actually 54%. Bitcoin dominance, 54%. I wish we could get better tools to find out better stuff. Into the Cryptoverse has a lot of good stuff, by the way, just on a side note. And you can use a lot of those tools for free, just on a side note. Bitcoin is trading at $57,814 again. And on the 30-day, it's down 13.5%. Ethereum is trading at $3,133 again. Interesting to me. It is down 9.7% on the 7-day. Oh, by the way, did you guys get the word that the SEC is no longer considering Binance's stablecoin as a security? In the stablecoin world, does the Binance USD have traction? Has users? Has a marketplace already? Do you think that the Binance stablecoin, now not having to deal with the stablecoin stuff, is going to make the token BNB more valuable? What do you think? I think 1,000%. Sure is. Paxos put the word out. SEC is dropping that enforcement action. Current administration is trying to garner some votes. It had a misstep. They misstep. They made a wrong move, a little hiccup. And they realizing that it's costing them about 50 million votes or so. And that they're looking to try to change that. Well, that's great for BUSD holders and the Binance chain and the BNB token and the Paxos business model. You understand? So BNB is at $528, and on the 30 days, it's down 13%. Solana is at $138 again. It's down 6.1% on the 30 day. XRP is at 44 cents again, and it is down 6% on the 30 day. There it is, fam. The market is doing what the market does. Let's go over this post and this thing here with my guys and see what's going on here. What's going on with all this kind of stuff? Make it be fresh and Jungle Inc. What's going on here? This is all in response to this post from Crypto Eddie from this interview with Tony from Thinking Crypto and Matthew Siegel from VanEck. It's a great question that Tony asked him. It's a great question because we have to, in my opinion, to be a better investor, we have to gain insights from other people other than all the maxis, and let's face it, there's BTC, ETH, and XRP, and Solana maxis, which means there's biases, confirmation biases, and other biases. But if you're dealing with an entity whose responsibility is to make profit for their customers, and these customers are inside and outside of crypto, let's just say that, then your viewpoint is completely different. You're trying to figure out a way to get their clients to be more profitable. And XRP entertaining content creators who suggest that they're not in it for that they're in it for some other thing, is bullshit. I'm here for the technology. I'm here for the utility. Really? You're not here to try to create wealth for you and your family? That's not why you're here? In any case, let's listen to this very, very interesting question and response from Matthew Siegel of VanEck. Now, this guy here is, charged of like researching all that kind of stuff, right? They have what do they have? A Bitcoin ETF as well, right? So just take a listen to this question and think about what he's saying. Then I'm going to go to some of these comments from Yassine, Make It Be Fresh, and Jungle Inc.
These like exchanges, there's been a lot of talks about, in addition to Solana ETFs, XRP ETFs. Are you guys looking into that at all? I think in order to bring an ETF to market, you have to have like a few different stakeholders on board. You have to have, the regulator obviously has to approve the underlying asset. The issuer has to have conviction that, the asset's a good investment. You have to have counterparties like exchanges, market makers, custodians who also rally behind the asset. And then you have to be able to find customers who want to buy it. So when we think about Solana, we've got all of those buckets. When we think about XRP, we're missing a few of them: internal conviction and customer demand.
And he just said two, but he said a few. Internal conviction at VanEck, and customers want the product. Now, do you think the people at VanEck just assumed that the customers didn't want the product? Do you think they just assumed it? Internal conviction, do you just think that it's a small group of people? Do you think they did some in-house polls and questionnaires? Because his thing here at VanEck is they're really about being all in on the things that they're offering to their customers, their clients. They want to be all in so that they can say, we're in here as well as you. A lot of the employees and all that other kind of stuff got to be all in on the Bitcoin ETF. Have to be all in on the Solana ETF. That's what he said in this interview. Watch the interview. It's a great interview. Great interview, right? So for me, I always tell people this because my mentor used to say this to me all the time. You can't operate from where you want to go. You have to begin to operate first from where you are. You got to assess where you are. You got to assess where you are, where that asset that you hold, where is it? Where is that asset currently? You have to assess that. And you got to make a determination about your hard-earned, dirty, nasty VI. It's your money. You got to make your decisions. I'm here to help. I'm here to offer, some insights so that you can, come to your own conclusion, not my conclusion. I've already made my conclusion. I've already put in my work. I've already done my homework. I've already done my purchasing of XRP. I've done my stuff. I already know. And for me, I made a decision about future purchases of XRP. That's not happening for me. Now I understand that I own a ton of XRP, even have lost a ton of XRP. So I understand where I am. I get it. You got to understand where you are, but you got to start with where you are. You might not have as much XRP as you want. You got to come to your own conclusion about purchasing more, don't you? If you feel like you don't have enough, right? Everybody's got to come to their own conclusion. We're here to offer insights. For us, we're not purchasing anymore until we see how this market responds to accessibility to the asset XRP with having the cloud on title dissipating. See how the market does. We see how the market does. Who's included in the market? People building on that ledger. A company like Ripple. Other projects building on it. Those are all part of the market. All part of the market. Ripple X is part of the market. What is Ripple X going to do for the advancement of the asset XRP and the digital and the XRPL ledger? What are they going to do? Because again, I just think it's hugely important to understand. Hi, baby girl. I think it's hugely important to understand this. Solana came out after the XRPL. The Solana blockchain came in 2020, I think. The XRPL ledger with builders and in-house builders and developers came out in 2012. It was the second blockchain. You understand? And what I'm saying, I'm humbly submitting to you is we don't have, for example, a Devour Go of the XRPL. That's launched, not an idea. That's launched and in the marketplace, exposing people to the underlying blockchain in addition to the product. You understand? Devour Go is out in the marketplace exposing the Solana blockchain to the marketplace by way of their product. We don't have enough of that. Tell me here's just a great example. I want to give you just a great example. Tell me about the product that you are using. That you're using that is not a wallet that you are using on the XRPL. What's the product that you're using? You got to ask yourself that. Not me. You got to ask yourself that. Are you using a product that's not a wallet on the XRPL? You got to ask yourself that because you got to understand where it is. You can't get to where you want to go without knowing where you are. It's cool to have a dream. That's cool, but where are you? Remind my family about this all the time. I have to remind my personal family, people live in my home. What is it that you want? Tell me about your dream. What do you want? What kind of lifestyle you want, et cetera, et cetera. And now let's look at where are we? What's the cash flow looking like? What's the revenues coming in from our business? Where are we? You got to start from where you are and assess that. I'm going to give you a great example of someone who didn't do that, didn't really take an assessment of that. So again, internal conviction and customers want it. He said that Solana checked all the boxes and XRP was short a few. From their research, from their homework, from their due diligence, that's what he came up with. Do you think that's personal? Think it's personal? So Yassin Mubarak says this. He said, might be too late for XRP to change the optics. By customer demand, he is, I assume, talking about institutional demand. People who would buy the hypothetical XRP ETF. That is lacking, which tells you a lot. Yeah. We can't say, yeah, but this is the reason. We have to understand that that is what it is. And of course, the cloud on title is the reason. Of course, the United States freaking government going after the company, the owners, and the asset. Of course, that's the reason. Does that change the fact that it is what it is? Institutions aren't interested in something that may possibly somewhere along the line, something might happen? Or is this what the institutions are saying? And they're saying it for a reason. And maybe that the customer demand is not here now. Doesn't mean it won't be there in the future. We don't know what the future holds. Who's to say, question for you to ponder, who's to say that there won't be another blockchain or there isn't another blockchain that can move anything of value in 1 to 3 seconds for less than a penny? Who's to say that's not out there or isn't being built? Let me tell you, well, I'll get into that a little bit later. But anyway, let me continue Yassin's thing here. That is lacking, which tells you a lot. By internal conviction, he might be referring to the perception of XRP within the larger crypto community. Might, but I don't think that's what he meant by internal conviction. That is developed and solidified over the years. That perception is now next to impossible to change as long as the overall structure of XRP ownership remains the same. Bullish on XRP, bullish on Ripple, on XRP, a different question. So he says, Yassin says he's bullish on Ripple and on XRP. That's a different question. So that's an interesting thing. So Jungle says Ripple only makes money from selling XRP. Ripple only makes money from selling XRP. It's not possible to be bullish on Ripple and not XRP. That's their only significant revenue. And I would say to Jungle, how is it that you know that? How do you know that that's their only significant revenue? How do you know that? And let's say if it's their only significant revenue, does that mean that they don't have other revenues? A lot of businesses have several products, and one of their products is the significant amount of money that comes in. And their other products are coming in second and coming in third and coming in fourth. They're all revenue. So let's see. So this is what he says. Ripple only makes money from selling XRP. It's not possible to be bullish on Ripple and not XRP. It's another thing that I disagree with. I think it is completely possible to be bullish on Ripple, the company, and not XRP. I have talked with a handful of significant holders of Ripple shares, significant holders who are bullish on the company and not on the asset XRP. And these are crypto people. What about the people who aren't crypto, who have significant shares in Ripple? Why would they be bullish on the asset XRP? They would have to have a reason for to be bullish on that. And I'm going to talk about Ripple shareholders that are outside of crypto because I think this is important to understand. So let me see what the back and forth is with Mickey B. Fresh here. Mickey B. Fresh says something, and I can't see if I can find. Here it is. He says 100% a false assumption. And I agree with Mickey B. Fresh completely. I think that is a 100% false assumption because you don't know. Ripple is a private company. You don't know where their sales are coming or their revenue is coming from. It says false assumption. You don't know where the revenue is coming from. Let me read this statement from Mickey. 100% false assumption. Ripple's lion's share of profits is from licensing fees for their software. Their proprietary software, Ripple Connect, IOP connectors, Ripple Home, Prisma Intelligent Liquidity Router, custody. Stop spreading crap. Listen to Larson from 2016. It says how they make revenue. Now, I'm going to tell you, I listened to this video, and I'm going to tell you, I've never heard of this product or this revenue stream. I've been holding XRP since 2017, in the space since 2016. I didn't know Ripple had this product and it was making money from this product. Why? Because it's a private company. They don't have to disclose how they make money. They don't have to disclose how they make money. And in the video that I heard from Jungle today, he was hanging his hat on court documents. That is the worst thing ever. You can't hang your hat on court documents. You know, those little filings of why we're suing and the responses to those. And unless you've ever been in a lawsuit, you have no idea what they can say in those lawsuits and completely get away with it. They're not going to jail for that. You could say in those lawsuits anything you freaking want. You could say that Ripple is the Antichrist. Ripple could say that the SEC is a reincarnation of, I don't know, something bad, communism. In the lawsuit, they could just state that. Right? You can get away with all kind of stuff stating that. And there, Ripple doesn't have to prove that self, whether or not their sales are 100% from selling XRP or 10% of selling XRP. They don't have to prove that in court. They do not have to prove that in court. And they don't have to prove it to the public either. It's a private company. And they, just because they didn't retort something in a lawsuit doesn't mean that's the lawsuit is in the suit is correct. It means that they don't want to publicly display what it is that they got going on because it's a private company. I'm one of those people that like, look, you're doing this report. I'm like, hold on a second. You're doing these yearly, quarterly reports. What's your sales looking like? I want to know what them sales are. What's going on here? Because as a shareholder, if you want to be a shareholder, you want some information. Well, guess what? As a shareholder and as part of seed rounding stuff, guess who gets that information? Those people. Those people get that information. But let me finish that thought here. Let me hold that thought. I'm going to share something here because, again, I didn't know about this revenue stream since in 2016. Take a listen to this. Now, Ripple Connect, IOP connectors, Ripple Home. Remember Ripple Home? Remember Ripple Home? What's their CBDC stuff look like? Is that CBD stuff for free? Is that, what about them private ledgers? Do you suspect that those private ledgers and the CBD stuff is for free? I, I don't know. What do you think? I completely forgot about Ripple Home. Prisma Intelligent Liquidity Router. I remember Prisma. We learned about it by accident. Ripple had never, and David Schwartz had never disclosed it. Ever. Ever. Let me say it again. Ever disclosed it publicly. Ever. Publicly. And yet, and still, it existed. And the only reason we got confirmation, because it was an XRP content deep dive researcher on a Spaces who questioned it. He found it and questioned David Schwartz about it. That's how we found out about Prisma. That's how 99% of XRP holders found out about Prisma. It's not public. You understand? That's why Jungle's thing is a 100% false assumption. You don't know what they got going on and what they're selling. You don't know. And I'm gonna share a little just kind of business 101 stuff with you. Just a little bit of business 101 stuff. But let's listen to this real. Prisma Intelligent Liquidity Router. All right, just keep that in mind. You got slant custody. Not slant, but comma. You leaving?
Let's also build these kind of software routers, Ripple Connect, which a bank buys and licenses, and that's how we make revenue.
Okay, Ripple Connect is what a bank buys and licenses and how we make revenue. So this whole thing, love you. This whole thing of, this kind of on this side, oh, wait a minute, those partnerships, you can't argue about them partnerships. I mean, them partnerships, 1,700 NDAs. Let me get out of here, right? 17, everybody wants to tout these partnerships. Every content creator wants to tout the partnerships and the NDAs, right? Don't you want to point to those as expected returns? You want to part? So they just said they sell that stuff, that router thing, to banks. And that's how they create revenue. First time I heard of that. I never heard about no router thing. Ripple Connect route. I haven't heard. Maybe someone else has. But did you know they had been selling it to banks? And that's how they make revenue? What do you think a partnership is about? You got to get it. You got to get it. There are things that are disclosed to the public as a private company, and there are things that are just simply not. That's what private companies do. Because intel will be used against you in the competition out there world. First time I heard about that. So they're not going to tell you everything. They're just not. And every now and then they may slip up and say something. And if you do your homework and do your deep dive, and if you're into that kind of stuff, you'll find out like Mickey B. Fresh does. Mickey is into that. He's got a whole business around researching and deep diving. You can't fall for the crypto version of what's going on from the the crypto point of view. What is it that you know? Think about that. So if they got all these partnerships that you on one side clamor about and go around touting, and part of those partnerships are FIs and SMEs and banks, and Chris just said they sell one of the products that Mickey B. Fresh mentioned to banks. Chris Larson just said they sell them to banks. How do you know what that revenue is? How do you know? How do you know if that is not a significant part of their revenue? How do you know what the number of their partnerships looks like? You don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows, as my mentor likes to say, right? We don't know. So it is 100% false assumption. This is why I agree with Make It Be Fresh. You don't know. We don't know. All we can see as crypto people is what Ripple allows us to see. And what we see is not a whole lot of activity going on the XRPL. That we know. Because you can look and check. Right? Daily active users, the XRPL blockchain, the second blockchain in existence, excluding Bitcoin forks, is number last in daily active user count. Those are the numbers. It's not our fault. It's not your fault. Those are the numbers. And in order for us to be intelligent investors, I think we have to know where it is that we are, not where we hope to be, where we are. We can't get to where we hope to be unless we know where it is that we are. That's what Ripple does. Why do you think they looked and they pivoted about 2 years ago to online? Oh, I'm sorry, online, on-chain. They pivoted to on-chain. Why? Because that's where the users are. That's where the users are. Let me give you a great example, and I'm going to get back to this other thing I want to share with you. Ripple made a bet, okay? Ripple and the devs, they made a bet. The bet was that mining and climate control and climate issues, whatever it's called, was going to be a thing. And that they were going to build a thing that wasn't going to be a climate issue. They made a bet on that. And that's how they built a ledger based upon that. Right? They made a bet on that. You understand? Now, there's a marketplace out there in carbon credits. Marketplace. Carbon credits. There's a marketplace for it. Ripple's part of it. There's a marketplace for mining. Mining chips, mining software, mining hardware, mining. If you had a shot today, someone gave you a shot and they gave you $1 million to invest in a marketplace, are you investing that $1 million into mining or into carbon credits? Because the market has decided. Let me help you out a little bit. Are there more mining facilities being built or more carbon credit ones? Is the mining marketplace expanding or contracting? I'm talking about where we are today. Are there more innovations around mining or carbon credits? What's the market share look like? What's that market look like? That's probably where you want to put the $1 million. And the market that is expanding, that is not contracting. The Ripple credit report, Ripple quarterly markets reports tell all. That's not correct, David. It only tells what they only tell you what they want to tell you. It doesn't tell all. The people who get the all-knowing deals, what's going on with Ripple, are those, them round A, B, and C's, or rounds 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what they call them anymore. Those seed investing rounds. They get the good, and the bad, and the ugly. They're required to get those. Ripple has to give that to them. Right? Ripple has to give it to them. I got just a interesting question to ask you guys. Let me go on here to something here. Right? Again, so he does not say in that clip, Ripple makes the majority of the revenue from license fees. The majority of Ripple revenues come from XRP sales. This is factual, right? And so he used this in the video. And I just, like, for a second, he was using the court document where the SEC purports that the majority of the revenue comes from the sale of XRP. That doesn't make it so, because Ripple didn't retort that. Doesn't make it so. Nearly all is lawyer speak. It's lawyer speak. My point to this is you don't know that the majority of Ripple's revenue comes from XRP sales. You don't know that. It might be true, but you don't know it because you're not given the information. You're not given the information. And I just want you for a second to think about seed round people. You know, those people that get that kind of stuff. Like there's a guy, his name is Simon Dixon, okay? Early Bitcoiner. Early, 9, 10, early dude. Multi-gazillionaire, okay? The dude had a couple hundred BTC and it was like lost on Celsius, I believe. He was like, it's not even any kind of significant portion of my thing, right? Why do I bring him up? Because he's an investor. Owns Ripple shares, owns Coinbase shares, owns VanEck shares, owns Uphold. Just pick them. Pick them, owns them. Right? Early investor. He gets that information. He gets the information that you and I don't get. And when I look at these early seed investor people, I ask myself, once they're getting all this information, right? They get the good stuff. They get all the good stuff, right? I'm telling you, they get all the stuff. Ripple's required to give them all the goods. Question: are you investing? This puts you in the seat of an investor, one of these early seed round people, like Yoshitaka Tao from Ripple, for example. From SBI. Early seed investors. I don't know. Just put yourself in those places. Put that hat on, and you get your stuff, your prospectus, you get all your info. And it says that the only sales we have are selling this crypto. There is no other revenue. Are you buying shares in that company? Are you buying shares in that company? Our revenue comes from the selling of something that was gifted to us. We didn't have to build it. It was gifted to us. We didn't have to build a product. That thing was gifted to us, and that's how we generate our revenue. Are you buying shares in that company? A blockchain infrastructure company selling software to banks. Our revenue comes from selling an asset that we didn't build, that we didn't create as a company. And that's our only revenue source. Are you buying those shares? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to wait. Are you buying shares in that company? David, are you buying shares in that company? Their only revenue is coming from selling a digital asset, a crypto. David says, yep. Hydro says not accredited. I'm saying, Hydro, you're now accredited. I'm putting you in the seat and in the chair of someone who's an accredited investor, got access to early seed fund investing because of that. David says he's still buying it. He's still buying shares in that company. Hydro says, yes, I would. Hydro says, yes. Bald Silverback says, nope. Anybody else? There's no right or wrong answer. It's what you would do. It's what you would do. Right? Anyone else want to chime in? Let me know. Are you buying shares of a company and their only revenue stream is selling crypto? One asset. Not all cryptos, one. XRP. Yep, and Ripple is buying back shares you bought at 2x. For me, the answer is absolutely not. Because I'm an investor. I'm not into crypto. I'm an investor. I'm an investor. And I'm looking at a company that says it's a blockchain infrastructure company selling software to bank, and you're not selling the software to banks, you're selling an asset that was gifted to you. That's not a revenue. That's not a business model that I can invest in because I'm not in crypto. I'm not in crypto. I don't know what XRP is other than it's a crypto. I'm looking to see if a company can go out into the marketplace and grab market share. And I need evidence that you're doing that. You think if you go to freaking Shark Tank and tell them you got no other sales than the sale of a product that's not that's you didn't create, your business model didn't create it, and that's your revenue. You're getting money from the people from Shark Tank? I don't think so. My point of that long ass rant was, of course they got other revenue streams. What do you mean? You can't have an A, B, and C seed funding round or a 1, 2, and 3 seed funding round with the only freaking revenue you got is XRP sales. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. I had a hugely successful investor and a bunch of startups tell me that he was bullish on Ripple, the company, and not XRP. This dude happens to be a multi-gazillionaire. So how can you say you can't be bullish on Ripple and not XRP? Of course you can. Of course you can. That little router thing that they sell to banks that creates revenue has nothing to do with XRP. Nothing. Ripple, years ago, went into the depths and despair of the freaking banks, SMEs, FIs infrastructure and realized it was a disaster. Remember the plumbing narrative? Remember when Ripple was the plumbing narrative, laying all these railroad pipes and tracks and all that stuff? Remember that? That's the stuff that they were selling. Chris just said that, and he just mentioned one product. Mickey B. Fresh listed 4 or 5 of them. Why do you think Prisma? Let me give you another. Why do you think Prisma and that genius of technology is only available for crypto? Are you suggesting that other marketplaces can't leverage that technology? So can't they sell that technology to people that might be beneficial for? Well, how did they raise seed? How did they have successful seed rounds, Hydro? If XRP didn't have VCs come in and buy it up. That's exactly right. Sure didn't. The VCs came in and bought company shares. And there is no way in heck you can convince me that they had all these successful seed rounds and the only revenue was XRP sales. There is no way you can convince me of that. Of course, Ripple's products onto the XRPL have not been successful. Ripple's products onto the XRPL have not. Coil was not successful. Sentiment Video was not successful. These streaming payment things, they weren't successful. But we just listened together closely and heard Chris Larson say they got this product that they're selling to banks, and that's how they create revenue. And so now that he said that publicly, it has to be true. Do you understand that, right? He can't say that publicly and it not be true. They're a private company. Do you understand? Don't believe the Solana VC's hype, bro. I would encourage you to look into the ecosystem of Solana. It is the most retail-focused project. And the numbers suggest that. And VCs are all over all projects in crypto. Not just Solana, all of them. That's why these new and innovative launch pads keep coming up with new inventive ways for VCs not to crap on retail, like Paid Network, like Commonwealth, coming up with new and inventive ways. I think there's another one called Apollo, trying to come up with new and inventive ways to freaking tamper down the harm that VCs cause. to retail. Right? So this is kind of where I am with that. I think it is a 100% false assumption. And in the end, every business has a product that moves better than other products. XRP sales, for me, it's not even a product. It's not a Ripple product. I'm not even sure if that can count. It's not a Ripple product. It's an asset that was gifted to them and they sell it. But they have to have other revenues. And we don't know if the sales are more revenue for Ripple than the other products. We don't know. We can assume. Mickey B. Freston say you're wrong. He said that's a 100% false assumption. Like, you don't know. You don't know. I don't know. Only people know is on early seed people. And one of those early seed people said to me, I am bullish on Ripple, the company, and not the asset XRP. In fact, he went on to say that Ripple was doing more. This was years ago. This was like, no, year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, somewhere around that thing. XRP Mickle was on that Spaces where he said that. He said it plenty of other times. That's his view. That's his view. In the end, he's a guy who owns a bunch of Bitcoin, but at his heart, he's just a freaking investor, investing in all these blockchain and crypto companies. Every one of you can think about, he's invested in. Everyone. Yeah, the XRP in the escrow was not counting in the balance sheet. That's correct, Bald Silverback. Right? So, again, both of these guys are my guys. But I think, look, if you're going to speak to the truth of Ripple, you gotta know that it's a private company. You got to know how the private company and disclosure game works. You got to know how it works. And whether the XRPL sales is, let's say it's, I don't know, 500,000. I don't know, pick a number, pick five. Let's say it's 500 million. Let's say it's 500 million. That's their revenue from selling XRP. What's the software stuff that they're selling? What's that revenue? Do you know? Or are you assuming that you know? You don't know. It's not disclosed to you. And what I'm suggesting to you, if a shareholder of Ripple is more bullish on the company as opposed to the asset, there's something that he knows that you don't know. He's not waking up in the morning looking to be bearish. He just knows something. Here's what I would probably say. He's probably, no, I don't know. He may be more bullish now than he was before on XRP, but I don't know. He may be. He may be like, oh, wait a minute. They get ready to come on Ledger. They get ready to come on the chain. They get ready to launch this AMM with this decentralized exchange. They get ready to do more activity on the chain where the native asset of the chain is XRP. Maybe I can turn a little bit more bullish now. You got to understand something. Ripple was a company working outside of crypto. They weren't working in the digital asset space. Just because they held an asset that is in the digital asset space doesn't mean they were working in the digital asset space. They weren't. They weren't. Those products that they were selling for to banks was not creating a demand for the native asset XRP. Why? Because the products didn't require them to hop on the freaking XRPL. That's why. Ripple went into the blockchain infrastructure company business, creating infrastructure. for these banks and whoever else. All right, Ball Silverback, take care, bro. Checking out, take care, Siege, and thanks for keeping it real. You're welcome, bro. Right? So again, this guy probably knows what's kind of he got a little bit more insight of what's going on in Ripple because he's a seed holder, he's a shareholder, he was an early investor. Right? He knows some stuff. So of course you can be bullish on Ripple and not on the asset XRP. Of course you can. What if XRP didn't get security clearance? Is not being a security. What if Ana Risa Torres would have ruled something else? You understand? As an investor, of course you can be bullish on the company and not on an asset that this company holds. You could be excited about the other assets that the company holds and not be excited about that asset, XRP. Ripple is selling software to banks. They got products that they're selling and in which we do not know the revenue. And Hydro brings up an important point. He said the ruling did nothing to the value of XRP. We got XRP in and of itself is not security. And what happened? How, listen to me, how did the market respond? Not how you feel about it. How did the market respond? That XRP in and of itself is not a security. How did the market respond? I mean, you just got to ask yourself that. Right? And look, the market is the market. Planned shorts happen everywhere. Planned longs happen everywhere. Right? We call that the wins in the space that I live in. Right? We call that the wins. All that kind of stuff happens everywhere. You don't think there's planned shorts on Solana and planned shorts on Bitcoin and planned shorts on Cardano? That's part of the market. That's part of the market. And the idea for us, I think, as investors, is not to ask why or to rationalize why, but to see the market for what it is and respond accordingly. See it for what it is and respond accordingly for what it is, where it is right now. And I just, and I gotta say this because this is hugely important. How many times are you gonna look at that daily active user thing that creates network adoption and promotes network adoption and just continue? I'm just gonna ignore it as an XRP holder. I'm just going to ignore it. Or are you going to pay attention to it and look to do something about it? How many times? I'm like, let me see if I can bring this up. Let's see if I can't find this from my guy. Minus Web. Touching grass is overrated. That's funny. Another great vid by Jungle. Oh yeah, he's caught. This is the one I watched. Somebody likes Godzilla stuff. Somebody likes Godzilla stuff. Huh. Jupiter Dow is in my guy's Michael Minus Wells feed here. Haha. Smart guy. All right, where is it? Did he take that down? I know he wouldn't have taken that down. Huh. Where is that at? I may have to go to my thing, but I want to share with you this daily active user. Daily active user thing. I feel like did he do that in response to a post? Oh man, freak me. All right. All right, let's do this. This will work better. This will probably work better because this is important. Yesterday, let's see, minus wells. That's not minus wells. That's not it. Hold on. Oh man, I can't find it. Bummer. The world's going on with that dude. Let's see if I can find it this way. This is important. This is massively important. I don't know how to search Twitter like others, so I could find that post. This is important. You got Tron and freaking BNB killing the game in this daily active users killing the game. If you guys know how to search it, let me know. It would be minus wells did daily active users post on X is how it would go. This is important too, really important. Monica Long. All right, here it is right here. All right, let me share that. Why is that not showing? This is important. How long are we going to take a look at this and say, institutions are coming, institutions are coming, institutions are coming. It's because Tron has some of the best utility, massive stablecoin users, highest daily active users, highest daily active users, biggest gambling ecosystem in crypto. And I just want to point this out. Tron, Polygon, BNB chain, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Avalanche, and freaking Phantom. There's been no more drama in an ecosystem than freaking Phantom. Or freaking Andre Cronje, he's in, he's out, he's in, I mean, what the world? I mean, brutal. These are daily active users, family. XRP is number 21. The XRPL ledger, rather. 21. 15,000. It's last. And there's reasons for it. Of course, there's reason for it. In addition to the lawsuit, there's reasons for it. Number one reason, in my view, the XRPL was driven in the wrong direction. There was no governance. There's a couple of corporate guys and a CTO who went in a different direction. Chose the wrong direction, quite frankly. I think it's proof positive now. It used to be up in the air. It used to be up in the air, smart contracts or payments. I don't think there's up for debate any longer. Do you? And the reason why this daily active user thing is because all the devs and everything was going towards payments, selling these products to outside of the digital asset space. And now they're pivoting. But how long are you going to let that go on? Orchestra Finance is up and running. Are you participating? Antidote Finance, if you prefer that UI, UX experience. DexFi.pro, my favorite. Are you participating there? But other than the wallet, what else you got? I'm sure you could buy an NFT or two. But what else you got? All the stuff that's going to be happening on the ledger is coming. Yeah, I know that number was because I referenced that too, right? Hydro. I was like, wait a minute, how you got Phantom here and you got it was Phantom and another one. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, what was that? Hold on 1 second. What was that? Hold on 1 second. Anyway, door open and closed. I don't know what was that about. All right. So anyway, yeah, typo for sure, right? So think about that. 15,000. 15,000. That was still the lowest number though, wasn't it? What the heck happened to my bookmarks? 15,000. Yeah, so 15,000 is still the lowest number though. Right? 15,000. Phantom was 59,000 daily active users. So he just ordered this kind of weird. Because so Phantom should have been down all the way down here below Hedera hash graph. And right above Elron Gold. Elron Gold has more daily active users. Elron Gold, EGLD. It's now called Multiverse X or something. When is that going to change, fam? That's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to us to change that. It's up to us. But it is also, we got to have something to use. Don't we got to have something to use? It's alarming for me as an XRP holder. By far the largest holding of all the crypto I have. It's alarming for me for Solana Pay to be winning the game. Solana Pay. Hooking up with Stripe. They hooked up with someone else the other day as well. I'm baffled by that one. Devour Go, I get it. Hive Mapper, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. It's not payments, I get it. Helium Mobile, I get it. With Solana Pay? It's because, again, ultimately all of this stuff boils down. Who's directing and ushering the guidance of the XRPL? Early mistake. You got to admit, if you want to put something on Ripple, it's not XRP sales. It's the direction of the freaking XRPL. They made a decision. It was the wrong one. It was the wrong one. And I believe a lot of the stuff boils down to Why 5 or 6 years later before you get a foundation? Where's the governance of this XRPL? These are the issues and the challenges that we have to look at, take an honest look at. An honest look at. Found a foundation, what, 4 or 5 years after the existence of the XRPL? Tell me about this tell me what you know about this foundation and their activity. You're an XRP holder, I'm an XRP holder. When's the last time you heard about the XRPL Foundation doing a thing? I haven't heard anything. I had a back and forth with a member of the foundation, not happy about side chains. These are honest looks that we as investors have to consider. Here's the, let me show you this this is going to really mess with some people. Let me show you my little into the cryptoverse thing for DCA strategy. And I'm going back from all the way back to January of 2012 on a DCA strategy, okay? These are the numbers. It's just what it is. It's not a personal thing, okay? It's not personal. These are the numbers. I bring this up because there's an XRP entertaining content creator who's the alleged adult in the room, who's always wanting to crap on people's investment in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana. Always wants to crap on it. Always coming up with some rationale, convincing his listeners that investing in those assets is fool's play. Okay? And now look, if you're not here for the money, this is not going to make sense to you. If you're not here to create wealth for you and your family and perhaps generational wealth, this is not for you. But if that's one of the reasons why you're here, here's the DCA strategy from January of 2012 to June 30th. $100 a month. Guess what you and I can do every single month? Your neighbor, your bank teller, the landscape person can probably do $100 a month. And 12 years later, right? If you're 18, you're now 30. If you're 40 years old in 2012, you're now 52. If you're 52 years old in 2012, you're freaking 64 years old. You understand? 2012 to June 30th of 2024. Here are the numbers on a DCA strategy that anyone can do. We got in the mix Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Maker. Remember, the ledger was out, assets out in 2012 for XRP. Solana doesn't come out until 2020. Ethereum, not until 2015. Bitcoin, you know that thing that's slow and it's expensive and it only has store value? You know, because when you go to cash in that money to the bank, they're asking you, can you tell me about the real use case? Didn't this money come from investing in this thing that's slow? Can you tell me about the real world use case? Because if you don't have it, we're not accepting the money. We're not going to give you any money for that. Wait a minute. That thing you got, aren't the fees expensive as all get up on that thing? Yeah. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Doesn't that thing break every other month? Yeah, we can't take your money and we can't give you money for that. I never heard such a thing. Never heard of it. Anyhow, $100 a month from January of 2012 to June 30th of 2024. That's buying $100 worth of Bitcoin. By today's date, you would have invested $15,000 in Bitcoin. 15,000. And you would have netted 208 Bitcoin worth $13 million. Does it seem feasible that today going forward might be a good idea to have a dollar cost average strategy for Bitcoin? Or is the technology too slow? And all these layer twos and side chains that don't really matter. Betterment, who cares? Lightning, Speed Wallet, who cares? Track protocol, ordinals and rooms, who cares? It's not really doing anything. Meanwhile, back in the dollar cost average strategy world, $13 million. I bring this up because the alleged adult in the room, who's an XRP entertaining purposes only content creator, in 2013 had a decision, blessed to have been aware and in the space in 2013. So he says, and because he made the decision that this little down with the banks thing was going to be the demise of the asset. He made a decision and said, you know what? That's going to be the demise of that asset. I'm going with this other thing that is not saying down with the banks. Made a decision. Instead of snatching up both and see who wins, like real investors do, let the market decide, not my personal biases that could be wrong, or that could be right, or God forbid, it's wrong. $13 million. Ethereum would have netted you $2 million. And if you were blessed enough to have $200 a month in disposable cash flow, that would have been $15,500,000. XRP. So Ethereum netted you $2,486,000 on $100 a month. That's about an insurance payment, car payment, isn't it? About $100. XRP would have netted you $304,000. These are the numbers. Then the market doesn't care that there's a lawsuit the same way that it didn't care whether or not Bitcoin was banned in China and India or not. The market didn't care about Ethereum gas fees, or they made the decision about Ethereum gas fees, and the dollar cost average strategy still netted $2 million with $50 freaking gas fees. In Bitcoin, there were thousands of dollars in fees. And yet the dollar cost average strategy netted 13 million. Solana, 125,000 on a dollar cost average strategy. And remember, 15,000 would have netted you 125,000. That's from 2020 to whatever. Solana came out in 2020. That is numbers that you got to look at. Move accordingly is in the building. How are you, bro? Hydro says, wow, great returns. OMG. Now, are we going to look at the technology or are we going to look at the returns, Hydro? Are we going to take a look at the technology and pay attention to narratives or look at the numbers? These are the things we got to consider, look at. Right? I'm not here for the best technology. I'm not here for the best use case. I'm here to create wealth for me and my family and hopefully generational wealth. This is why I'm here. Why are you here? Of course, the returns are diminishing. They're not going to be the same returns, David. The returns are diminishing. Of course, they're diminishing. But dollar cost averaging strategy is about accumulating and saving. And the returns will be what the returns will be. Bitcoin is the highest performing return on investment in the history of investments, in the history of business, in the history of finance. It has the fastest adoption curve of technology in the history of technology. And we're blessed to be here. And so we're at a point where we have to say, shit, that's crazy. And now we got to look at, you can actually tabulate the top 4 or top 3 or top 5 year-over-year net returns on your money. And you can dollar cost average into the best performing. Is it our fault that Solana is outperforming Avalanche, is outperforming Polygon, that's outperforming Arbitrum, that's outperforming Optimism, that's outperforming, just pick Cardano? Or is it what it is? And we plan accordingly. It's not about discarding one for the other. It's not about that. Listen, fam, listen. Countries are making Bitcoin legal tender. El Salvador is looking, the president is looking to create an investment bank for Bitcoin and US dollars. I'm not sure if there is a more genius move than that. Do you see what he's doing there? He's buying, it's like in the crypto world, buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. You understand? It's like buying Bitcoin and XRP. Do you understand what he did there? And he said the market, he said the people are going to decide. The people are going to decide if they want more US dollars or if they want more Bitcoin. But he's putting them in position to make a choice. The same choice, unfortunately, someone had in 2013. And year to date, the numbers are the numbers. And that's a DCA strategy. That's just a DCA. The lump sum strategy could, if you lump summing more into one asset than you're lump summing into the other asset, then the number could change. Well, I'm talking about a strategy that you and I and your children can do. And the numbers are the numbers. My job for me is I got to find the assets that the market has said is the asset. In other words, it's performed. It's gone up the adoption curve, and it is what it is. Again, I didn't know Solana was going to outpace Avalanche or outpace Polygon. I would have never thought that. In this early inception, we had what, 2 or 3 times 2020. We watched the video, right? I would think it was 2 or 3 times in 2020, and then 2023 was one time it went down, and 2024 is one time so far that it's gone down. I would have never thought that could outdo Avalanche. But when we look at the real numbers, the outage is about the same. The only difference is we reported Solana stuff and not Avalanche stuff and not Polygon's downtime. Do you understand? The market's going to tell you what's good, what's not good. The market's going to tell you. And we all got to come up, make our own decision from there. But boy, oh boy, how about a DCA strategy and another strategy? Right? What's the other strategy? For me in the crypto Sieges home is simple. It's real simple. I'm leveraging the alts. I'm DCAing and I'm leveraging the alt for when moon to buy more Bitcoin. That's my strategy. And the DCAing, the assets in the DCA can change. What if the performance year over year is no longer there? It's no longer there. Look, NVIDIA is going to be a thing. Look how long it took for NVIDIA to be a thing. I mean, think about that. It wasn't a thing to be invested in NVIDIA until it was a thing to be invested in NVIDIA. Right? It's just what it is. It's not impersonal. It's not impersonal. It's just what it is. Of course, there are people who, by hook or crook, held on to NVIDIA for 25 years. Of course, there's some people that have done that. Of course. So it's kind of where it is. And for me, the dollar cost average strategy is just, when you look at the numbers, it's just kind of what it is. The dollar cost average strategy is a saving strategy that keeps you, it protects you from you. Because I know for a fact that holding money on the sidelines, waiting for a price, guess what happens? I don't know, a flat tire. I don't know, a car accident. Deductibles got to be met. I mean, I don't know, a call from a family member that needs money. I don't know. Life happens. Life happens. But if you got a DCA strategy, I mean, you're just good. Whatever that amount is for you, I don't know what it'll be. I dollar cost average for 14 or 16 months. And that's cool, but that's not dollar cost averaging for 5 or 6 years, 7 years. It's not the same. There's no compounding in that. But compounding is over a long period of time. That's what DCA is. And let asset appreciation do what asset appreciation does. That's why, like 3.5, 4 months ago, I just started DCAing, baby. And the assets going to change. It's not going to change from Bitcoin, but the other assets might change. Maybe Maker doesn't continue to give me that year-over-year return because of, I don't know, the market. But Ethereum and Solana will until it ain't doing it. But it looks like Solana is moving into the range of Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is what it's looking like. This is what the market is saying. In other words, it's becoming a viable asset to continue to DCA in, which is buying and holding the asset. Nothing personal. The market's going to decide whether Ethereum is going to get to 15,000 or not. The market is going to decide. And I don't mean on speculation. Part of it is speculation, but other things, advancing stuff will help it. The market's going to decide. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, BlackRock didn't have to build on Ethereum. They didn't have to build that product on Ethereum, but they did. And we have to just say, okay, they did. And because they did, guess what the market's probably going to do? It's probably going to follow what BlackRock did. It's not about the best technology. Like, oh, yes, there's stuff that's cheaper. And yes, there's better things than Ethereum. Of course. Like ZK Sync's pretty good deal. Hedera Hashgraph, pretty good deal. But the market kind of tells you what's good and what's not good. And what I mean by that is going to decide they're going to use and what they're not going to use. And you just, for us, we just kind of plan accordingly. Just kind of have to plan accordingly. In that dollar cost average strategy, the Bitcoin DCAer had 3 years over the Ethereum because we did it from 2012. Then Ethereum DCAer, he had 3 years. So 13 million as opposed to 2 million. So that's kind of where it is. I just want to kind of share that with you guys. And so, again, I hope everything kind of makes sense. Again, both of those guys are my guys. I respect them both big time. And I just think that Jungle has it wrong on this one and Mickey B. Fresh has it right. It's just my point of view. It's my view. We're still good. We're still going to be boys. It's kind of where I sit with that, though. All right, fam. Look, I'm going to hop off here. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know it's been a while. I've been rambling for a minute here. I appreciate you guys checking in on Thursday evening. Landscape guys out there cutting the lawn. Appreciate you guys checking in. Hydro and David, I appreciate you checking in, my guys. Move accordingly. Appreciate you checking in, bro. You guys are really, really active in the stream. I really appreciate that. Bald Silverback, thanks for checking in. Gulam Abbas, not at the moment, my friend. Not at the moment, but keep in touch. That's on the video editor thing. Thanks, Gary. Appreciate you checking in for sure. Appreciate you guys hanging with the Crypto Season on a Thursday afternoon. Do me a favor and hit that like button on the way out. If you didn't do so on the way in, that would be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream, for sure. And if you've been hanging out, watching and listening to Crypto Seeds and you haven't been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. We have about 45% or so of people that are hanging out, listening, watching, and have not subscribed to the channel. We'd like to get that number down to about 25%. So that would be super, super cool if you could do that part, especially if you've been enjoying the hangouts. I'm going to end this live stream like I do all my live streams and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.